Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Jessica Nicole. I'm a self-published author of YA fantasy romance novels, and in today's video I finally am getting to film this book haul for you guys. I have been waiting to film this book haul for weeks now, just waiting for all the books to come in the mail, and I had like an unforeseen surprise on my birthday, and so that kind of added to my book haul a little bit. So I'm just gonna jump right into this because we've got a few books to discuss. This is gonna be a mix of ebooks, physical books, and audiobooks. So I'm going to talk about the two audiobooks first. I have added to my Audible library The Bridge Kingdom and The Traitor Queen. This is a duology, and it basically follows the story of two feuding kingdoms and the love in the middle of it. So the main hero is the king of the kingdom that our main heroine Laura has basically been sold to. She's part of a peace treaty between the two kingdoms that isn't really a peace treaty because Laura's dad is crooked and he raised Laura and her sisters in the desert, basically in like this brutal boot camp to make them into assassins, pretty much, to make them, to kind of train them to be spies. So her dad never had any intention of honoring this peace treaty. He's trying to bring down Ithacana, the big prosperous nation, and Laura is from Madrina. They are very poor and struggling, and she kind of has been raised to blame Ithacana for that. She kind of finds out some things along the way, and when she starts to fall in love with her new husband, her job becomes difficult. So I have read The Bridge Kingdom. I have not read the sequel yet, but I cannot wait to jump right into it. Read with my ears. I cannot wait to jump right into it this month in March. So those are my two audiobooks. My two ebooks. So for my birthday, I got a Kindle from my mom, and I have been reading two books on here. By a Thread by Lucy Score, which will surprise so many of you because I am not a regular romance person, or so I have thought, because I've been very underwhelmed by regular romances that I've read in the past. But I cannot stop reading this. Like, I cannot put this down. It was free through Kindle Unlimited for me to borrow, so I did. And yeah, I'm super into it. I've been enjoying it so much. It basically follows the story of Allie and Dom. Allie and Dom meet at Allie's job. She's recently fallen on some hard times, like some crazy stuff has happened in her life, and she's working several jobs. The girl puts me to shame, honestly. I wish I had that much energy and work ethic, but she's working several jobs. She's at her pizza server job, and Dominic comes in. They get into it because they're both very combative. Not really combative, I don't know. They're both not pushovers, and they get into an argument over something. Long story short, he ends up getting her fired. His mom is like this big, huge fashion mogul. She runs this fashion magazine, and she gives Allie a job and makes it so that her son can't fire her. Their close proximity, sparks start to fly, and I'm only like halfway through the book now, but I love it. It's so good. It's so funny and heartwarming at times and spicy at times, and it's just a fun story to read. So I've really been enjoying that. The second ebook that I'm hauling is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. I just started this. I'm literally on chapter 2, but I love it. I read a review for it where someone was like, that they were shocked to hear like this, they were shocked at this author's writing style mesh with the genre, basically. So it's a fantasy book, obviously, but she writes it in an up-to-date way. Like, she uses slang terms that you hear every day, you know, in this fantasy setting, and it's kind of weird at first, but I also love it. And I don't know, I just know I'm gonna love this book. I laughed so many times, and yeah, I'm already obsessed with it, and I'm only on chapter 2. So those are my audio and ebooks. The rest of these are physical. So I'm gonna just go ahead and jump in. I got Vow of Thieves, even though I haven't even read Dance of Thieves. But basically, this is like an enemies to lovers, the second in a duology. They're basically from rival crime families in this fantasy world. From what I can tell, I don't know because I have not read the first one, like I said. And once I start a series, I kind of have to complete it, unless it's like one of those ridiculously long, like 28 book series or whatever. I'm good on that. But if it's like 2 or 3 books or whatever, I can, you know, even if I don't like it, I have to finish it. But I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited to read Dance of Thieves probably this summer, and then follow it up with Vow of Thieves and see how I like it. Second book I got, well, not second book I got, the second book that's in this stack over here. I got Belladonna, and this story is about, it's also a duology, but the second book isn't out yet, so when the second book is out, you know, I gotta get it. But Belladonna is about a girl who is orphaned, and she's kind of been passed around her family. She's sort of like the black sheep of the family because everybody thinks she's a little weird, from what I can tell from the blurb. She basically has like this odd relationship with death. Like, she can't die. Like, she's been in some really bad accidents and she's never died before. And if I'm not mistaken from the vibes I'm getting from this, her and Death are gonna have like a little romance or something. And I'm gonna take this dust jacket off because I was floored when I saw what was underneath it. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this is. This is gorgeous, and purple is my favorite color. And it said that 5 belladonna berries are all it takes to kill someone. Look how beautiful. I don't even know if I want to put the dust jacket back on now because I just think this is so pretty. And I love this. It's giving me all the dark gothic romance vibes, and I don't know what's wrong with me like lately. I've just been very into that. So we're just gonna follow our bliss, and I'm gonna read this book, and I'm gonna get the sequel when it comes out, and I'm super excited for both. Alright, the next book I'm going to talk about is actually a pair of books. Now, do I have both of these in audio format? Yes. Am I primarily going to read them with my ears? Yes. Did I want the hardcovers because they looked gorgeous and I knew I was going to love this book even before I started reading it, and I wanted to highlight and annotate as I went? Yes. So what I have here is I have Legendborn and Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn. They are companion novels, a duology. I don't know if there's going to be more books or not. I tried to look on the internet and couldn't find much about if there's going to be another book or more books or whatever, but I got these two. And basically this story follows Bree, and she is kind of trying to solve a mystery, the mystery of her mother's death. From what I can tell, she ends up joining kind of stumbling upon a secret society at her school, and basically the Legendborn are descendants of King Arthur's knights, and she's I think she's one of the Legendborn. I don't know. I haven't read this yet. Again, book haul. And I don't like to read too much about books before I go into them because I just don't want to be spoiled. This one I have no idea what happens. I just know it's the second book of this one because I didn't want to read the blurb and be spoiled. So I got those. Super excited to read these. I'm probably going to read Legendborn this month in March, and I will let you know my thoughts on it. Next book I have here is actually Twisted by Emily McIntyre. This is another book in her Never After series. I've already read Hooked and loved it. I haven't read Scarred yet, but that's next on my list from her. And then this is Twisted. Twisted, these are like Disney fairy tale retellings that kind of center around the villains. So this one is centered around Jafar and Jasmine. They have different names in this, but it's kind of their love story, and it's not fantasy, it's like just dark contemporary romance. which I enjoyed Hooked so much, and I can't wait to jump into Scarred and then jump into this one. Next book I have is also a dark contemporary romance. This is part of the Monsters and Muses series by Sav R. Miller. I read the first book, and I told you guys that I was not going to continue that series because that book was a lot. Like, it was spice on 100, very dark, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I got the tamest one out of the series. But this one kind of drew me in, like the premise and the cover. I love music, I love purple, and it low-key kind of sounds like he's stalking her on the back, and I don't know, y'all send help. But that kind of intrigued me. So anyway, I got this. This is kind of an Orpheus and Eurydice retelling. The first one, Promises and Pomegranates, was a Hades and Persephone retelling. Same thing. It's not a fantasy at all. It's just a dark contemporary romance, and I've been super into those. So I got that. The next book I got is Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. And it's basically a witchy book, apparently. And I can't wait to read this like October, November-y time. Like, even the little interspersed between the chapters are like little spells or whatever that I'm assuming the characters use in this book. But the premise of this is that the main character's family is kind of ostracized for being witches, rumored witches. I don't know if they're like confirmed witches. And the woods are haunted, so no one goes in them, but a boy stumbles out of them one day. He's a boy that's been missing for a while. He apparently ran away from like his youth camp for troubled teens, and he's been missing ever since. And so the main character is the only person that will like go near him and try to figure out what happened. And I'm super excited to read that. Like, it'll be such a change of pace around Christmas time with all the Christmassy things going on, so I can't wait to read that. I got Beloved by Toni Morrison. I don't know if you remember, but a few videos back I said that I wanted to kind of get more into Black classics, because this book is a Nobel Prize winning book. I don't know why it isn't considered a classic. Well, we know why, but anyways, I'm going to read this book. I have seen this movie. I think I watched this movie when I was a kid, pretty much, like when it first came out, the movie that's based on this book, and it scared the mess out of me. And I watched it recently in February for Black History Month, and it still scared me, but there was more layers to it. I picked up on more of the layers that are in the film now that I'm older, and so I want to read the source material, and I know it's going to be an emotional read for me, but I think it's important to read it and to kind of absorb the story that is, you know, a fiction story, but it's fiction that is not fiction. It's historical fiction, and it's based on things that actually occurred. Yeah. So I am so glad that I have this, and I'm looking forward to reading it. A little nervous, but yeah. The next book I got is actually, let me talk about these three first. So I got a series. I got the Caraval series in hardcover. I have Caraval, which I read and loved. I have Legendary, which I read and loved even more. And I have Finale, which I have just recently started reading. Basically, these three books follow two sisters as they are trying to basically change their fate. Their father is abusive, their mother ran away when they were very young, and so they've kind of just only had each other to lean on. And so they live in this fantasy world where magic exists, or it existed a long time ago. Certain people still have magic. One of them is Legend, the master of Caraval. And Caraval is like this traveling circus slash game with a huge prize at the end. And Scarlet, the older of the two sisters, they're like a year apart, but Scarlet has been writing to Legend for years, trying to get him to come to her island, which is one of the Conquered Isles. It's like a poorer island, and she wants him to come there so that she can take her sister to see Caraval, and maybe they can win the prize and somehow escape their dad. Well, one day Legend writes back to her. He sends her 3 tickets to Caraval, and Scarlet, Tella, the younger of the two sisters, and Julian, this mysterious guy that Tella is dating at the moment, they all decide they're going to go to Caraval. Scarlet doesn't really want to go. They kidnap Scarlet. They go to Caraval. So many things happen, and it's just a wild, fun ride. There are like magical gods involved. There's betrayal and romance, and the settings, the way that she describes like the characters and the settings in these books is just magical and beautiful. And yes, this is definitely on my TBR for March. And the last book that I have here is, oh, these are all by Stephanie Garber. I'm going to put like the author's names because I always forget to do that. I'm going to put the author's names in this video. So this is Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I just picked this up randomly in Walmart. I liked the premise of this book. Basically, the main character is obsessed with true crime. Who isn't these days? I definitely am. And she thinks her next door neighbor is a serial killer. And I just know it's going to be like fun, romantic comedy vibes. Like I said, I'm usually not into these, but I liked the premise enough to give it a shot, and hopefully I love it. So I'm probably going to read this one in October just because. And that completes this haul, you guys. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see from me. Let me know what you're reading currently, what books you're excited to read, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye.